What's going on today, guys? Today I want to talk about 5 common mistakes that most people overlook when it comes to plants. Number 1, overwatering. Just because it's Monday doesn't mean you need to give your plant water, okay? Plants, they're on a different water schedule than us. They don't need water every day. I know I talked about it over and over again, but that is the truth. I know when you're first getting into it, it's really fun just to kind of go by, water your plant because you feel like you're Mr. Big Shot or Mrs. Big Shot. And don't do that, or you won't have a plant to water next week. And you can go and replace that plant however many times you want to, but at some point in time, somebody's going to notice that that plant isn't changing, including you, hopefully. So let's not water our plants just because it's Monday. So no routine watering schedules, okay? We only water the plants when they dry. How do we know when they're dry? You can either get yourself a water meter, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you are still using a water meter, the only way for that to give you an accurate reading is if you are using soil straight out of the bag with no like perlite, no koi, no orchid bark, no type of mix, because the way that that scale is set up, those little metal devices that go in there, those are tested and used on actual just soil. They're not used when you throw those other ingredients in, so the reading is not going to be accurate. So get you a toothpick, use your finger, whatever it is you have to do. You also, guys, by the way, these are our peace lilies that we repotted. One, I think this one right here, we repotted about 6 months ago, and this one we repotted maybe 3 months ago. But guys, when you are doing your checking for your water in your plant, you just take your finger, you go here. It's a clear pot, so let's see if you can see my finger. You see my finger right there moving? This right here, I can do my judgment on my finger. Right here, it's still really moist. I just watered these plants yesterday, so we're okay. Now, by the time I get to Friday and these plants still are very, very just moist inside of here, that means I overwatered my plants. I don't have to worry about that because I do have these in a chunky mix, so the water is going to go through. But you still have to pay attention that just because I have this in here, if I was to go through and water this plant tomorrow or water the day after tomorrow, I'm going to be in trouble. Okay? So just be mindful of when you're using your water meter. Make sure that if you are using your water meter, you don't have anything into the mix because it's not going to give you an accurate reading. If you do have a mix inside of your pot, use your finger, use your toothpick, use a wooden stick. However way, if it comes out dry, you're good. If it comes out dry, means to water it. If it comes out moist, that means leave it alone. Okay? All right. Number 2, which was definitely a pet peeve of mine. Potting your plant in too big of a pot. Yes, talking to you. Do not take that little bitty plant and plant it in this big pot because of the potential that's going to grow up to. Because it's never going to grow up to it. It's going to die right there in that big pot. You see, when you put a plant, let me give an example. Boom, here we go. We have a Monstera statulona AR right here. And guys, if I said the name wrong, that's what it is. This right here is a Florida green philodendron. You see the difference in the pot size? It would make no sense for me to repot this plant in a pot this big. You know what's going to happen? This plant is going to spend all its time trying to get some healthy roots inside of here. So this plant's going to stay this size for a very, very long time. And that's only if I get it right. That means I have to try to find a way to water this whole pot while only making sure the roots get the exact amount of water that they need. I'm here to tell you right now, unless you like that, your plant's not going to survive. It's going to die. I lost many, many plants to it. Rule of thumb, when you get ready to repot your plants, just go up the next pot size. Unless you have skipped a lot of repotting and your plant is completely busting out the back. Now, let's just say here, let's just say I don't repot this plant, right? Let's just say I leave it in here, I forget about it. For some type of reason, I just give it a whole lot of neglect. And I need to resize this plant. I need to repot this plant. The next size pot I would use, guys, and I'm not even going to talk about how long it took for me to actually find a 4-inch pot, because honestly, I'm in the stage right now where I'm not really into growing babies anymore. We're on the bigger and better things. Now, if a plant costs too daggone much and I need to start off with that cutting of that baby, don't think I won't do it. But the next size pot that I will put this in will be this right here. This right here is about a 2.5 inch pot. This right here is a 4-inch pot. This is as big as I would go. If I put this plant right here and anything else bigger, it's gonna die. This right here is my pothos. It's a golden pothos, and I don't know if you all can see it, but it's starting to get larger and it's gonna grow just to get full. I know I'm finally doing one. Number 3, I wanna talk about misjudging the light. Just because you have light coming through the window doesn't mean it's enough light for your plant, okay? That was definitely something that I went through at the very beginning of my plants just wasn't thriving. They just wasn't doing good. I would make sure after I finally figured out how not to overwater my plants, and after I finally finished how not to pot my plant in too big of a pot, next was getting the lighting right. Very hard. I would move the plants, I would shuffle it around, I would try to get as much condensed to the window as I possibly could. Nothing was working. So I Googled, and what do we know? Grow lights exist. I didn't know anything about grow lights. So grow lights, light helps, and these plants need a lot of it. You got to think about it. These plants are coming from technically outside, and you're bringing them inside. Yes, I know for the most part, most indoor plants say low light, because they grow underneath the trees in the wild and so forth. Still, some of that sun is cracking through. And I don't care what you say. I don't care how great indoor plants you grow. It's still nothing like growing a nice plant outside in the shade. I actually have a monstera growing outside now underneath like a little shade thing that I kind of made for it. And that plant has already doubled in size in the last month than my monstera over here. And this plant started off bigger last month. So make sure your plant is receiving enough light. If it don't have the window light, get it some grow light. Now there is a light meter that you can go and buy. Just type in light meter at Amazon or light meter at Google, and it will measure it in by the, I don't know exactly what it's called, but a good number for your plant range. Bare minimum is 3,000 and can get all the way up to 10,000 when you're talking about the way that it reads the light. But 3,000 being minimum, 10,000 is being a lot. I think that ideal is like right at 5,000. Don't quote me on that. Do your research first. All I'm saying is that there are tools to measure the light to make sure your plant's receiving it. And all you have to do is look up your plant and figure out how much light that plant needs. So it's a little bit more to it than just buying a plant if you want them to thrive, you know? All right. Number four, ignoring the airspace and the humidity. Listen, when it gets hot in here, like in the summertime right now, I don't care how much I try to keep my house cool. 70 degrees is just not going to happen. Between the windows coming in, the door opening back and forth, it's going to fluctuate. So it's going to run at like a 73, probably 74. It always feels a tad bit warmer inside of this room than it does the rest of the house, which is good for plants. It's really good. It's the winter times I have to worry about when it's just cold and the plant's just like, oh, Sean, help me. So keep that in mind, though. You want to make sure that your room is very airy, that your plant's going to be able to breathe. You don't want to put your plant in a very tight space, which sounds a little bit crazy because plants do so good in humidity when you put them in a bathroom, and most of the time that bathroom is very closed off. So when I'm talking about airspace, don't set your plant in the middle of the kitchen where you know that the steam that you're cooking and frying, all that greasy stuff is going to go in the air. Because what's going to happen is it's going to get on your leaves. You know what happens when it gets on your leaves? Your plant can't photosynthesize from the little bit of light you are providing to it. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Now, number 5 is probably the magic pill that I'm about to tell you. Feed and fertilize your plants. Please do it. I used to be stupid about it. I used to say, oh, I don't need to do that. If my plants grow fine, they grow good. Let me tell you something. Do an experiment, okay? Come back and comment under it. It could be a month or two. I'm not in a rush. I'm here. Start using fertilizer or the plant food that I use on mine, FOOP, and tell me the difference your plant won't make in a month's time. You will notice it. You're welcome. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope that you got to learn a couple of 5 common mistakes that we all make. I'm just brave enough to get on here and share them with you. That's all I got for you. You take care.